Hello and welcome to tammydecaroart, and thank you for joining us in this collaboration with Nate's Art Lab. Our theme this month is rainbows and pride colors. So the first piece, I'm doing two pieces in this video. The first piece is an experiment of doing a bloom transfer using a pie plate, and I put the PPG Multi-Pro base paint in the pie plate, probably about a half an inch thick, in order to give me a good size pillow to stretch across two canvases. And because rainbow colors don't always mix well together, I put my warm colors, the red, orange, and yellow, in the center, and then the green, blue, and purple on the outside. And I'm using Payne's Gray Cell Activator and White Cell Activator. The Payne's Gray is representing the indigo color. If you typically include indigo in your rainbow colors, that's how I decided to incorporate it in this. The colors used are all Creative Inspirations colors. The red is the crimson, orange is their traditional orange color, yellow is cadmium yellow deep, blue is phthalo blue, the green is a hybrid mix of viridian and deep green, as well as some yellow to lighten it up a little bit. And then the purple is their, I think it's called dioxazine purple. I'm blowing it out with my mouth to try to limit the amount of colors that blend too much together. And here is the transfer. The transfer is slow because I'm going over two canvases, one, and the second I needed that base paint to get down to the bottom. And I did transfer this across two 12 by 12 canvases that already had some of the PPG Multi-Pro on the canvas prior to me putting the transfer on. Of course, something I learned in transferring across two canvases is that as you're transferring and also as you're spinning, where those canvases meet, it creates a lateral line of flow of paint, which I compensated with by, after I get enough paint onto the second canvas, by tilting it, I separated them and spun them separately so that the lateral flow across that seam between two canvases wasn't as dramatic. So see, I'm pointing that out there, and then after I spin what I think is a good amount off of the two together, I separated them, and there's the close-up of the spin from above. And in a minute, you start to see that lateral flow across the seam. I'm wondering if putting a piece of tape across that would stop it, but it's, certainly something I can test in future diptych style transfers. I am overall happy with the way this bloom transfer kept the colors for the most part separate. There is a little bit more mixing of the yellow, red, and orange than I would like, but overall I think it turned out well. I like the way these two are a diptych and flow with each other to tell a story. At the end of this video, I'll show you both of those pieces after they're dry and on a wall, so that you can see kind of how they flowed together. I'm just adding more base paint to that section where a lot of the paint kind of spread out the wrong direction, basically. Came off the end versus the side, and I needed to get good coverage there. Both of these pieces dried very well, and I actually ended up scooping up the overflow from the spinner and drying it as a skin, and that was really pretty also. When I think of it, I try to do that. Basically, I just use a big palette knife and try to scoop up what's on the spinner and put it across a silicone mat and let it dry. I use those in jewelry and collage and other things. In fact, this fall at Arts Bonita, I will be teaching several classes on jewelry with mixed media, specifically using acrylic skins and jelly print, scraps, and UV resin. So it's going to be a really fun class, I think, for people who live in this area, or if you're traveling to the area. You can always find those events on my Facebook page, Tammy DeCaroart, under events. I have about 65 classes planned in the next year in the Southwest Florida area. There's the two pieces together. The second piece I did, knowing that rainbow colors sometimes don't play well with each other, I thought a traditional bloom swipe might give me a bit more pure color and create an interesting piece. And I really liked the depth of the cells in this piece because, of course, I'm swiping right on the canvas. I don't have that transfer, which stretches things out and kind of makes your cells wonky. And again, I laid my colors down in traditional rainbow order and used the Payne's Gray cell activator mixed with Australian Floetrol to swipe with, which really created a very interesting, beautiful overflow on the spinner with huge cells. And one tip on blooming, whether you're blooming a traditional bloom or you're swiping, always make sure that you stir the cell activator really well before you put it down every single time. I found over the years, and I do a lot of blooms, especially on Lazy Susans. It's probably one of my best-selling art techniques. You just have to freshen up that cell activator every single time you use it in a way that you don't have to do with your bloom colored paints that are mixed with the untinted base paint. So on this piece, I swiped from top right to bottom left, and using the large swiper from Fluidart Co. I don't remember the number. I think it's possibly number 11 or 14. I can't remember. But you can see that it's kind of an oblong, large palette knife. And I swiped from top right to bottom left. This piece ended up expanding a lot and helped give me really big, juicy cells. In fact, that bottom left corner is probably the part that I love the most. There's the overhead version of the swipe. Let me know what you think about the two camera angles. I'm kind of experimenting on the ways I record my videos and trying to get two angles. I also reapplied a little bit of that cell activator, and I didn't like this part in the top right where the cell activator was very dense. So I added some of my base paint around, and then I swipe again away from me in that area. I find that sometimes when you're swiping, you have that big concentration of cell activator at the beginning of your swipe, and many times coming back in can help sort of smooth that out a little bit. A lot of it did get tilted off, but of course I've got a spot there and that spot up on the top where I have concentrated cell activator. It helps to kind of get that already moving to the edge so that you can swipe that section. Look at those juicy, juicy cells. I love it. Certainly when using rainbow colors, this was definitely the more successful technique at keeping the colors to be a little bit more pure and less mud when they mix together. I really like this piece, and just want to say thank you so much for joining our collaboration train today. And hopefully, if you haven't had a chance to watch the videos before and after mine, you'll follow the playlist and watch those videos as well. I love seeing how everyone uses these colors in different ways. This is probably one of my favorite collaborations so far, and I really appreciate everything that you've given us, Nate's Art Lab Collab and our collaboration train, giving us time today to watch. By the way, a plea. I am well over my subscriber amount for monetization, but I am not over my watch hours. So if you have a few minutes or some time and you can watch my playlist titled Everything, it will play all of my videos back to back and help boost my watch hours. I sincerely appreciate that. Let me know what you think of the two camera angles in this video. And as always, I'm thrilled to get comments and ideas and suggestions on future videos. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and good luck on your upcoming fluid art adventures.